I guess it's time for Namco to take another swing at golfing. But is Namco Classic II up to par? Namco would take the opportunity to iron out some of the issues with their previous golf games. The original Namco Classic was around 600 games ago, all the way back in 1988. It was a bit rough, but it still made some green. It wasn't like the game was an albatross around Namco's neck, which would be why they made this sequel. Namco Classic II offers a whopping 27 holes of golf for players. Those of you who are good at math might already be saying, but there are 18 holes in a golf course. And that's correct. Namco Classic II doesn't offer you a course. Instead, if you're playing a round of golf, there's 3 sets of 9 holes that you pick 2 from. You also get to choose if you want to play an established pro, or if you want to create your own golfer. You can customize your handicap, and pick out your clubs. Alternatively, you can choose to play as one of 5 different professionals. There are 4 fundamental game modes in Namco Classic II. Stroke play, which is just a standard round of golf. Match play, where the person who has the lowest score on each hole wins that hole, and you're competing to win the most holes. Point play, where the holes are worth different points, based on if someone's been shooting above par. And best ball, which is a multiplayer only mode, where you compete to see who can shoot the furthest off the tee. There's also a tournament mode, but that's really stroke play just with a bunch of computer opponents. On the course, the gameplay is very similar to every other golf game out there. First you aim, hit A, then adjust how you're going to hit the ball, hit A to start your backswing, hit A to strike the ball again. When you're using the woods and irons, you don't have fine control over your aim, which is a bit annoying, but for some reason it does work with the wedges and putter. Like a lot of recent golf games, the course elevation matters a lot here. I chose to play the mountainous course first, and you can see how these holes are built into rolling hills that affect your shots. I think the hole design in Namco Classic II is actually pretty good. Now admittedly, I did go for the courses that looked more difficult, and it wound up feeling like every hole I was playing would have been the most difficult hole at a real course. Nothing unreasonably impossible, just a lot of very distinctive challenges. A lot of these holes require fairly strategic play if you want to get to the pin with the lowest number of strokes. There might not be many safe places that you could reach driving at full strength off the tee, but maybe using a 5-iron instead will let you set up a better shot. Now I did have some trouble getting a feel for how much strength I needed to use, especially with the wedges and the putter. The results felt a bit variable to me with those. But that's probably me not being used to the game rather than poor design here. If you choose to play in tournament mode, you have to win 23 tournaments to beat the game. Namco Classic II gives you a password after every tournament. Though if you're doing too well, there is an overflow bug that screws up the passwords. An odd feature is that you get your choice of caddy in the game, kind of. When you set out, you're given a choice of cards, and you have to pick the random caddy from among them. There really isn't a functional difference between them, though. As a fairly late sports game on the Famicom, Namco Classic II doesn't get a lot of attention. In fact, I think there's more focus on the caddies than the game itself. It's just not a game that gets a strong response. I think Namco Classic II is a perfectly fine golf game. Definitely in the upper tier of those released on the Famicom, though personally I'd play Mario Open Golf before it. But if you're not really into golf, this isn't a game that's so transcendent it will change your mind. It's just a decently made golf game.